An autopsy released today labels the death of a Kansas teen while in custody as a homicide. 17-year-old Cedric Lofton died after being put in handcuffs and placed face down in a prone position back in September. The corrections staff involved in the incident has been placed on leave. As Sean Luging reports, those already fighting for change say the teenager should have been treated as a mental patient instead of a criminal.
The 12-page autopsy report named Cedric Lofton's manner of death as a homicide. When coroners use this term in an autopsy, it's not a legal conclusion. In this context, it means the death was at the hands of another person. And while intent can be a factor, it's not required. A timeline in the report says around midnight, September 24th, Lofton returned to his foster home, and police recalled when Lofton became erratic. Lofton was taken into custody with the intent of taking him to a hospital behavioral health unit. But after a struggle with officers, he was taken to the Juvenile Intake and Assessment Center, or JIAC. At 4:20 in the JIAC lobby, the autopsy report says Lofton was showing signs of agitation. At 4:26, two staff members grabbed a hold of Lofton and a struggle began. At 4:33, he was moved to the floor, placed face down in what's called the prone position, and restraints secured to his ankles. There remained a struggle, and at 5:08, Lofton was handcuffed with his hands behind his back. Lofton then showed signs of calming down, and at 5:12, no pulse was detected and life-saving measures started. He died 2 days later. After the release of the autopsy, I spoke with Progeny, a local juvenile justice reform organization which has been calling for answers and accountability in Lofton's case.
The system is supposed to be established to essentially, protect those kids.
Since Lofton's death, the Progeny youth leader says a focus has been educating on mental health resources rather than calling 911 for mental health issues.
It was a mental health crisis from the beginning. So I feel like knowing that there should have been better options, and there were better options, but there's no policies or procedures in place to make people follow those options.
The medical examiner says Lofton tested positive for COVID-19, but it's not clear if that was a factor in his death. He also tested positive for THC, the psychoactive compound in marijuana. Investigators will not say more until the district attorney decides whether charges will be filed.